I'm going to be creating a much better version of myself. I cannot remain the same person as I was last year and have a different outcome this year. It's physically impossible. I have to change something. How's everyone's calendars, man? I just had a look. You guys are stacked. Like, there's just a welcome back 2020 gift for you guys, like fully stacked up to like a week and a half, I think. Yeah, so last year was our best year yet, and yeah, by a country mile. And this year I've got some absolute monster plans. Like what I hope you guys have been doing over the break or towards the end of the break, I know that's when I did mine, is just start to look at the year ahead. Start to look at the year as gone. I know you guys haven't been with us for a full year, but even just looking at your year last year and having a look at what you did, what happened, and take stock on what that is, but then more specifically think about like the year ahead and what it is that you want to achieve and what you're going to go after, because otherwise when you come back it can feel like the same old, or you're just going to slip back into the old thing, which you definitely don't want to do. So for instance, I'll just use your one as an example. For the that you want to do is actually like not just having that as a target and then just being like, okay, let me just see how I go, but have a look at like, what if you had a look at last year and divided the total number of revenue that you did last year by the month, how much you did every single month, and then go look in the spreadsheet and see how many proposals did you send out for that month, and then divide that revenue by the proposals sent, and then you start to get metrics, you start to get KPIs, and then I'd be looking at the dials and I'd be going, okay, how many dials did I make every month to get out that many proposals? So then you can just come up with like a little dashboard for exactly what your input needs to be to get to that output, and you're not just wondering how you're going to arrive there. So you will come up with, and you'll know literally based on a whole year of data, how many dials that you need to make in order to get how many props out, and how many props you need to get out in order to hit that number, right? Because it sounds like it's going to be double. Yeah, obviously your closing's gotten better and all that kind of stuff, but just on the sheer numbers, you'll probably find that it's going to be double the levels of output. So then in order to get the doubles of level, like what is it that you're going to need to do? Like how many dials is that? How many dials do you need to do an hour? How many props do you need to get out a day? How many props do you need to get out a week? And then you can just take stock at the end of the week to know if you're going to be on target or not, because you want to try to get it as scientific as possible, where you know how many dials to get a prop out, and then you know what your close rate is on props, right? You don't just want to leave it by chance and wonder how you're going to get there. We're going to just be talking about goals, right? There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing that's more important. And then next week, we're going to go over like what those goals look like and actually how we're going to go out and get them, right? So if for everyone that hasn't written down their goals, you need to clarify very black and white, crystal clear what they are over the next week. And then do a bit of recon, go through that sales spreadsheet and put in the numbers in that, and we can discuss it. We can look at what it's going to take in order to get it, right? Then that's the big picture. Once you've got those goals written down, then you want to break down and find out what are the inputs and what are the processing of those inputs to get you to the outputs. And then you want to break them down to a quarter, because you're going to have the yearly ones. You want to break them down to a quarter, and then you want to break them down to a month, and then you want to break them down to a week, and then you want to break them down to a day, right? So it becomes an exact science of exactly what you need to know. Like when you watch NBA games and you just think, oh, that person's having like, a good game. Like there are like data scientists on the back end that's saying all you need to do is get in the paint, because if you get in the paint and you do a jump shot, you've got a 63% of chance of hitting that jump shot, right? So like you just see the dude, like he gets on a hot streak, like that's like, it's like a game of chess. The real players are the guys, the coaches that are orchestrating all of the plays, and they're looking at all the stats and all of those kind of things. And that's where you want to bring the science to your game, right? We know that it's 80% mental in this game that we're playing, in the sales game. And we just want to make sure that everything, that 20% that isn't mental, that we're really got a grip of what's going on and we're not fooling ourselves as to what's happening over the next month, over the next quarter, right? I'm just giving you my process of how I do it and what I've been doing. Okay, cool. Now we've got the raw materials for what we're looking at. Now we want to get really regimented and we're going to go, okay, this is what I need to do in order to hit my goal. How do I orchestrate the best day in order for me to be able to do that? This is the actual doing part, right? So then you want to basically have a look at your 24 hours that you have in a day, and you want to allocate every single half an hour block on that day. Right? This is what the discipline looks like, and you want to have what time you're going to bed, what time you're waking up, what are you doing in the morning, and you want to create that ritual that's going to allow you and empower you to want to actually go out there and get that goal, right? And this isn't something that I'm just saying, like, I'm not being a hypocrite. This is something that I do. Do you know what I mean? When I talk about work ethic and I talk about all this stuff, like, I am the first one in the office. Do you know what I mean? I am the person that's writing my goals. Like, I am the one that's going after it. I can only tell you to do what I'm doing and what's worked for me, and what I believe is going to work for you, right? So then you want to look at your day and you just want to break it up. And over the first week, over the first month, over the first quarter, you want to police what is happening, and you want to have a look at, is your daily activity going to allow you to get to that output? And if it's not, you need to change it at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter. It's as simple as that. And you don't want to lower the target of like, okay, well, looking at what I want to do, it's just not possible in order for me to do that. Let me say, okay, I don't want to do how about I just live with for the year? That will do it, and then we're good. No, right? If that's the goal that you want to hit, like, then you need to support that through all the action. So if you find out, for instance, that you're not able to make double the amount of calls, right? So then the first thing that I would look at, well, what is it that I would need to do in order to make the double amount of calls? Would I need to send all of my proposals out in the afternoon? Would I need to start calling at 8:30 in the morning? What would I need to do in order to hit that, right? Or that's just one way to get to the goal. Then it might be, well, I need to have a high percentage of proposals that I sent out in order to get it done. What do I need to do in order to do that? Do I need to do 2 hours on a Saturday and touch up a few of my follow-ups? I don't know what it is, right? That's going to be for you guys in terms of what it is that you're going to need to do, right? Because it's the same thing for me. Like, I've got a very clearly defined revenue target that I want to hit this financial year. And like, one of the way to hit that revenue target is for what we do as a sales team and what kind of numbers that we throw up and how many strategy sessions I can generate and what your close rate on those strategy sessions. Another way is obviously increasing the lifetime value of our existing clients. Another way is through like our book funnel, and there's all different things, right? But if I get to the end of the quarter and I'm like, oh, like the numbers aren't looking to where I need to be, I'm going to dive into and go, okay, well, why aren't they? Okay, well, there's not enough strategy sessions, or the guys aren't closing enough deals, or we're not doing enough re-signs, or 2 of our Facebook accounts have been pulled down. We haven't been able to spend what we want on the book funnel, or whatever it might be. I can ascertain what's going on and I can course correct, but I don't just throw out a number and go, this is the number that I want to do this year, and don't have like the raw materials to be able to work through it, right? And most people, that's how they do operate. They operate by whatever fate and chance happens to fall into their lap. But you need to be absolutely regimented. Like I've got everything on my calendar, from when I'm going to sleep, to when I'm waking up, to when I'm picking up my daughter, to when I'm reading books, to when I'm working out, to when I'm listening to my goals. And it's just robotic. I just do it because I just created that structure that just works. And I'm not leaving it by chance. Like, even when I have my morning coffee is on my calendar, because I don't get sucked into an email and then my day gets derailed, and then I don't have a coffee, and then I'm late to my sales meeting and it just spills off, right? I'm trying to control as much of those elements as I possibly can. So you need to put down a number that's going to really excite you. And you're going to need to write goals down that's not just King Kong, that's not just financial, that's not just work, but other stuff. You know, that's just one of the aspects to it. If it's relationships or health or whatever it might be, you want to write them all down. So it's like, it's the whole ecosystem that supports it. And don't think that you can just write down your activity from 9 a.m. till 5:30 to when you're in here and you're going to be able to effective. It's even almost more important what happens outside of that time, what you do in the mornings before work, or what you do in the evenings to renew and refresh yourself, or whatever it might be. But write them down. And then once you've written them down and you've got like your battle plan of like what it is, then you want to write those goals down every single morning and every single night. Yeah, like you want to write it down as if you've already achieved them. I do dollars in new revenue every single month. I send out 60 proposals every single month. I make 400 dials a week. I do da 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 da. I'm in incredible shape, or whatever those goals that you have are. You write them down every single day. Every single day, you write them down. When you don't feel like it, when you do feel like it, but there aren't any exceptions to it, this is something that will help you. It will dramatically help you. It would help you while you're at King Kong, and it will help you for the rest of your life if it's something that you continue to do. Whenever, my motivation wanes or it waxes, it's like I just look at it and it's like, oh, well, it's just like my goals aren't exciting me, or I haven't been writing them down, I haven't been consistent, or I'm not doing something that I know that I should be doing in order to get me excited. And while everyone, like what everybody does is there is to write down their New Year's resolution and then they give up on them in the first month. And that's because they just write down these things that sound cool, but that doesn't even really mean anything to them, or they don't allocate the time to actually do it. They'll be like, I want to read a book a month, but they don't say when they're going to be reading the book. They don't schedule any time in to read it. And then it's like the first month goes by and they've read half the book. And then they're like, okay, I haven't hit my goals. I haven't hit my New Year's resolutions. It's a wrap and done, right? Because they've just left it to chance. So what I'm saying is that you just have it all broken down as when you're going to the gym, when you're listening to audiobooks, when you're training, when you're listening to calls, when you're having the sales meetings, when you're doing all of those things. Just have them all locked in, all penciled in, so you can know what it's going to take. Right? It's not like it's not mystical magic, or it's not like the unknown. It's like you just need to look at it and just find out what it is, what's going on. Right? And that's just the best thing to do. It's just like that whole quote around success leaves clues. You want to find out people that are doing what you want to do and find out what they're doing and then just do it. It's not any more complex than that. So, for all of you guys, you want to start with like, it's the monetary piece and how much money that you want to earn. Like write that down, reverse engineer it, find out how much you're going to need to do in comms, find out how many proposals you're going to need to do that many deals, find out what your average deal was. But that's what I want you to do over the next week, is find out what those raw materials are, and then we'll go through them all. So yeah, like the thing that I really want to make sure that you guys are doing as we start 2020, as we start the new decade, is like really looking at the numbers of it and looking at like what is it going to take to go out there and get it, because that's what I do, and that's like the people that are around me and the people for you guys where you're in this position where it's like a whole new year. Emotionally, we reset. We're starting, like we do not want this year to be last year, right? And it's not like you can't even maintain what you did last year. It's either you're going to have a worse year or you're going to have a better year. It's as simple as that. There is no maintenance, right? So it's just like, all right, well, I'm going to have a better year, because you don't want to have a worse year than you did last year. So then it's just looking at what is it going to take in order to have a better year. And then we can just know it, we can look at it, we can review it and make sure that you guys are on task and you're going to be doing what you want to be doing. But I want to make sure that everyone's clear as we start the year of like what it is that they are chasing, and what is it, like what's the prize that they're going for, and what is it going to mean if they hit it, and what's it going to mean if they don't hit it. Yeah, it's both of those. Don't just look at what it's going to be like if you do hit it. Look at it like what's going to happen if you don't hit it. How are you going to feel? What's it going to mean for you? What is the outcome going to be? Who is it going to affect? What is it going to mess up with the trajectory of your life or what you want to do professionally? Look at all those things, right? What you do this month and this quarter sets the tempo for the year. So I like to just go so hard for the first quarter of the year, to really set myself up. Like I want to peak at the start of the first quarter of the year in terms of my production, my work ethic, all of those kind of things. So I set the tempo. Okay, this is what 2020 is going to be like, right? You definitely, like, if you thought you were disciplined last year, you need to increase your discipline by an extra 10 to 20% this year. You need to look at the things that you were doing last year and think, how can you get a tweak on that? How can you go even harder? But the last thing that you want to do is kind of think, oh, I'll just coast for Jan, February, March, because you set up a really slow tempo for the rest of the year. You want to come out hard, come out swinging like a ferocious dog, and then go, okay, this is the activity that I need. This is what I need to maintain in order to hit what I want to. And it just so happens that for you guys, like the first quarter of the calendar year for you as salespeople in this kind of role is the best, because everyone wants to do something. Everyone wants to take action. So I'm going to be creating a much better version of myself, of my character, of the person that I am, so I can up level and hit those goals. I cannot remain the same person as I was last year and have a different outcome this year. It's physically impossible. I have to change something. So that's just the thing that you guys want to be thinking about. What is it you're going to change? What are you going to give up? What's your regime going to look like in order for you to turn into that person that deserves to hit those goals? Yeah? So let's have a good first week back. Full work week. Everyone's got lots of strategy sessions, lots of activity, lots of people to follow up on. The guys that have got like strategy sessions in that you can kick out to the new guys, kick them out, go through your follow up. But like, let's send a message to the rest of the company of what we're going to do this year. Let's do it. Let's go. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you click the like button and subscribe. We're dropping a video on YouTube every other day. And if you've got any questions about any of the content that I covered in this video, just basically leave a comment with hashtag #HeySubri in the comment section. And every week we're also trying to go through all those questions and get them answered. So go ahead, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.